Welcome back to AI Explained. So today we're diving into some stuff you sent us about AI and blockchain.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty fascinating area.
Yeah, definitely, especially with how much is happening, like all the new
For
developments.
sure, it's changing so fast.
Yeah.
So we have this source called A New Decentralized AI Ecosystem and Its Implications.
Okay.
Just the title alone,
Yeah.
makes you think, wow, what's coming next?
Right.
And I think this deep dive will really shed some light on not just how things are changing,
Yeah.
but like what it all means for the future.
Agreed. Yeah, let's explore it.
All right, so this source starts off by,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
painting this picture of AI just exploding in terms of growth.
Really?
Like they give some crazy numbers.
Like what?
Okay, so there's a projected 13% increase in IT jobs over the next 6 years,
Wow.
which,
That's a lot.
yeah, it could be something like 667,600 new jobs.
Wow.
And then the whole AI sector could be worth like $3.6 trillion by 2034.
That's incredible. It is. The potential for AI to like change how we work and live
Right.
is just massive. And this source actually gives some examples too in healthcare and finance.
Oh,
Apparently 38% of major medical providers are using AI for diagnostics.
wow.
And the financial sector thinks that AI is going to contribute like $15.7 trillion to the global economy by 2030.
So it's not just some far-off thing.
Right.
It's already happening.
It's happening now.
And it's not just those industries either.
Yeah.
The source mentions that something like 83% of companies are exploring how to use AI.
Wow.
That's practically everyone.
That's huge.
What does that even mean for us?
I think it points to a huge shift. Like
Yeah.
AI is becoming like a core part of how businesses work
Yeah.
across all industries. And it's all about optimizing efficiency, innovating, and staying competitive in a world that's changing so rapidly. And for us personally,
Yeah,
we're all probably going to be interacting with AI more and more in our daily lives.
for sure. But, with all this growth and this huge integration,
Yeah.
it makes you wonder about control.
Yeah.
Like, who's really in charge of this AI revolution? And should we even be worried about the downsides of all this power being centralized in the hands of a few?
Oh, that's a good point. This source uses terms like data set manipulation and biased training models.
Right.
And it definitely makes you think.
But what happens if the data that's used to train these powerful AI systems
Right.
is skewed or biased?
Yeah.
Like, what could that do to decision-making?
Yeah.
And how could that impact our lives?
It's a huge concern. As AI gets more integrated into these systems that are making decisions about healthcare or finance, even criminal justice.
Yeah.
We need transparency and accountability
Yeah,
more than ever.
for sure.
We have to make sure that these systems are fair, unbiased, and truly serving humanity.
Okay, so then this source mentions decentralization as a possible solution.
Okay.
And they bring up a couple companies, Space and Time,
Okay.
or SXT,
Uh-huh.
and Chromia, who are working on this. Could you explain how they're using blockchain to deal with these concerns about centralized AI?
Yeah, absolutely. So both companies are harnessing what makes blockchain so powerful.
Okay.
The transparency, the immutability, the decentralized nature to try and create a more ethical and robust AI landscape. So Space and Time, for example,
Yeah.
they built this verifiable database. Basically, it means that every transaction, every piece of data
Right.
is recorded in a way that's totally transparent and can't be messed with. Their focus is on giving this verifiable data to AI agents so they can make decisions like trades or purchases
Okay.
in a way that everyone can trust.
So it's like this permanent record that everyone can see and
Yeah.
verify. No more shady deals or hidden agendas. That sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. And then you have Chromia.
Yeah.
They're taking a slightly different approach. They're focused on building this decentralized architecture that can handle all these complex AI applications that need tons of data.
Okay.
They have this thing called a relational blockchain. Think of it like a really advanced database, but it's spread across lots of computers, making it super secure and transparent.
Okay.
In fact, UG Go, their head of business development, has said they want Chromia to be the transparency layer of Web3.
Wow.
So basically, they want to make the internet and all the applications on it radically transparent.
That's a big goal.
It is.
So they're not just talking about it, they're building the tools to make it happen.
Exactly. And it's worth pointing out that Chromia is really focused on accessibility.
Okay.
So they're using a type of blockchain that's based on SQL,
Uh-huh.
which is a language that a lot of data scientists and developers already know.
Yeah.
So that makes it easier for them to build and launch AI applications on this decentralized platform.
So they're making it easier for people to get involved in decentralized AI.
Exactly. It's about democratizing AI development.
I like that.
And they're not just working alone either. This source mentions that Chromia is partnering with other AI companies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Alpha AI Chasm Network and Stork. So you can see that a real ecosystem is starting to grow around this whole decentralized approach.
That's exciting.
It is. It really is.
And speaking of new things, this source brings up this idea of technological sovereignty.
Yeah,
That sounds pretty grand. What does it even mean?
it's a powerful idea. In this context, it means giving individuals more control over their data and their digital lives.
Okay.
It's about taking power away from those big centralized tech giants
Yeah.
and moving towards a more democratic and ethical way to do technology.
So instead of our data being held by a few big companies, we would have more ownership and say in how it's used.
Exactly.
That could have huge implications for privacy security,
Absolutely.
even how AI systems are developed.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big shift. But is it even possible? I mean, are people really interested in taking on that much responsibility and control?
Well, the source highlights some interesting predictions about the future of decentralized AI.
Okay.
So Nate Holliday, the CEO of Space and Time, thinks that blockchain-based AI agent transactions could jump from 3% of the market
Okay.
to a whopping 30% pretty soon.
Wow. That's a huge increase.
It is, and it shows that there's real momentum behind this movement.
It makes you think about what happens if AI really does become decentralized.
Right.
Who's in charge then? How do we make sure it's developed responsibly and prevent people from misusing it in a system that's supposed to be distributed and autonomous?
Those are the big questions. It's not just about the tech itself, it's about the social, the ethical, even the philosophical parts of this shift in power.
Yeah.
We need to think carefully about how we design and implement these decentralized systems and how we create structures that ensure transparency, accountability, and ethical decision-making.
It sounds promising, but also a little scary.
I agree. It's like we're standing at the edge of a whole new world.
Yeah.
And there's so much to figure out.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
We're at this crazy point where we have the opportunity to shape the future of AI to benefit everyone.
We do.
But it takes us to be thoughtful, proactive, and work together.
Absolutely. We can't just sit back and watch.
Yeah.
We need to participate in this conversation, ask the tough questions,
Yeah.
and work together to create a future where AI is a force for good.
For sure. But let's take a second and think about all of this in terms of you, our listener.
Yes, let's consider the personal implications.
Okay, so imagine a future where you have more control over your data, where you can verify the decisions made by AI systems that impact your life, and where you can actually participate in shaping the development of this technology.
It's a future that's possible.
Yeah.
But it means we have to be engaged and informed. We need to understand the potential, but also be aware of the challenges and work together to find solutions that benefit all of humanity.
So what will your role be in shaping this future?
It's a good question to think about.
It really is a fascinating time, isn't it? We're talking about reshaping how technology interacts with society.
Yeah, it's truly transformative, and it's not just theoretical anymore.
Yeah.
This source actually goes into how these companies are putting their vision into action. Space and Time.
Yeah.
They're actively expanding their ecosystem
Okay.
across a bunch of areas. Decentralized finance gaming, even something called DEPIN.
DEPIN.
Yeah, decentralized physical infrastructure networks.
Okay, now that one definitely needs some explaining. What is decentralized physical infrastructure?
Okay, so think of it like this. It's about taking physical assets in the real world, like energy grids or data centers, and using blockchain to decentralize how they're managed and controlled.
So instead of one central entity managing these systems, it could be a distributed network.
Exactly.
That's pretty revolutionary. What are the advantages of that?
Well, for one, it could make these systems way more resilient, less likely to have outages or be attacked. It could also increase transparency and accountability in how these resources are managed.
That makes sense. It's like bringing decentralization to the physical world.
Ah.
What about Chromia? Are they doing anything similar in terms of real-world applications?
They are. They're really focused on building a practical platform for decentralized AI.
Okay.
The source mentions that they launched a $20 million data and AI ecosystem fund earlier this year,
Wow.
which shows how committed they are to this. They're also rolling out a major upgrade to their mainnet called the Asgard mainnet upgrade.
So they're putting their money where their mouth is?
Yeah.
That's good to see. What is this Asgard upgrade all about? What will it change?
Well, it includes a new feature called extensions. It
Yeah.
basically gives users more flexibility and control over how they use the platform. It's
Mhm.
all about empowering developers to customize Chromia to their specific needs.
So they're making it even more user-friendly and adaptable.
Yeah.
And remember how we were talking about Chromia partnering with other AI companies?
Yes.
Well, the source gives some actual examples. They're working with companies like Alpha AI, Chasm Network, and Stork. It shows that there's real momentum behind decentralized AI and a lot of potential for collaboration across different industries.
It's not just one company doing its own thing.
Right.
It's a whole community building something new together.
It's pretty inspiring to see this collective effort to create a more open, transparent, and fair technological landscape.
It really is.
But as excited as we are about decentralized AI, we also have to be realistic about the challenges.
Of course.
If we're talking about changing how AI is developed and governed, there are going to be obstacles.
Absolutely. And this source acknowledges those challenges. One of the most interesting things we've discussed is this question of governance.
Yeah, if we're moving towards a decentralized model who makes the rules, how do we prevent misuse?
Right. Those are the big questions. Decentralization is about distributing power, so how do we also make sure it's accountable?
It's a tough problem.
Yeah.
But are there any ideas out there about how to approach this?
Yeah, there are some interesting ones. One idea is to come up with new models of distributed governance, where decision-making power is shared among a network of stakeholders.
So instead of having one authority, you would have developers, users, experts, maybe even AI systems themselves, having a say in how things are run.
Exactly. It's about checks and balances, transparency, accountability, and making sure AI development is aligned with human values.
That sounds good in theory, but
Yeah.
incredibly complex. How do you get everyone to agree?
It won't be easy, that's for sure. But we've seen this kind of collaborative decision-making in other places, like open source software development.
Yeah.
And the source really emphasizes open dialogue, community involvement, and experimenting with new governance models.
So it's a work in progress.
It is, but it's a journey worth taking.
Absolutely. The stakes are high, but the potential rewards are even bigger.
Right.
If we can make this shift to a more decentralized AI ecosystem, we have a chance to create a future where technology truly empowers people,
Yeah.
promotes transparency, and fosters ethical innovation.
I agree. That's a future worth working towards.
This has been a really insightful deep dive. We've covered a lot today.
We have
From the explosive growth of AI to the complexities of decentralization and how important ethical considerations are, we've talked about the potential, the challenges, and the need for ongoing conversation and collaboration.
It's been a great discussion.
But the future of AI is still being written.
And we all have a role to play in shaping it.
Exactly. So to our listener out there, we leave you with this final thought. Will you be a passive observer or an active participant in this technological revolution? The choice is yours.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it informative and thought-provoking.
And if you enjoyed this exploration of decentralized AI, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the world of artificial intelligence. We have a lot more to explore together.